Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
The Lovecast. The Lovecast. The Lovecast.
Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
Greetings, sound wave riders and sonic surfers. Welcome to your weekend edition of the Lovecast, where this week Dave O Rama is taking everyone on a day trip to the beach. The Lovecast is a global sonic schizophonic exploration of the invisible art form we call music. My name is Dave O Rama, and a couple of weeks ago I caught up with Haida Gwaii-based surf rock band, the Pseudos, and we had ourselves a chat on the beautiful sandy beach at Pachena Bay Music Festival on the traditional territory of the Huu-ay-aht Nation near Bamfield, BC on the west coast of Vancouver Island. So stay tuned for my interview with the Pseudos coming up in hour 2 of the program. Hanging out with the Pseudos made me realize that I've never produced a Lovecast focused on music from the surf rock genre. And so I decided this week to continue my celebration of summer with something twangy in a global sonic style. It's the Big Twang Show this week with Dave O Rama and the Pseudos. So put on your swim gear, grab your surfboards, and gas up the woody, because this week the Lovecast is heading for the beach. We're going to begin our sun-soaked journey on the beaches of LA with the band Dengue Fever as we hit the waves in search of the silver fish.
Dari
Hey, this is Danny Bell, and you are listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
Sácalo, sácalo, lindita.
Hola, ¿qué tal mi gente? Nosotros somos Mingua y ustedes están escuchando The Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
under my voice, the twisted sounds of Toronto-based band El Blotto Twangueros with the track Midnight in Montevideo. It's a big twangy lovecast for you this week, and much like ska music, surf rock can be an interesting blend of musical styles, including various forms of cultural folk music. A great example of that there from the Israeli band Boom Pam, a Tel Aviv-based rock band specializing in Balkan, Mediterranean, and Greek styles of music. From the 2023 release Royal, you heard Boom Pam with the song Daber Yafe. And I'll send that one out to Lovecast devotee and longtime friend Yadin. Then we tripped out to the Amazon region to check out some twangy chicha sounds from Peru. Chicha being a form of psychedelic cumbia music originally coming out of Peru beginning in the 1960s. Originally formed in 1972 and still on the scene today, the band Los Mirlos from a compilation called Cumbias Chicadelicas, Peruvian Psychedelic Chicha. And I played an infectious dance number for all the ayahuasca pilots called Sonido Amazonico. And I'm going to send that one out to Ilan in gratitude for his generous compliments in reference to my musical knowledge. Some more classic Peruvian psychedelia from another veteran chicha band known as Los Diablos Rojos. The Red Devils from the 2007 compilation The Roots of Chicha and the track Sacalo, Sacalo, Take It Out, Take It Out. 60s Japanese surf guitar band Munetaka Inoue and his Sharp 5 in the set showing off his golden guitar moves. Going out to my friend Kathy, something from the Montreal-based Japanese psychedelic band TekeTeke with a mind-melting schizophonic ear injection called Yoru Ni. Some Asian-inspired twang from Dutch band Yin Yin and a sampling from their new release Mount Matsu and something called the Perseverance of Sano. And at the top of the hour, I began this surf-inspired edition of the Lovecast with something aquatic by Los Angeles-based band Dengue Fever from their 2023 release Ting Mong and a beautiful song called Silverfish, going out to all my Pisces friends tuning into the show today. My name is Dave O Rama, and this week I'm taking you on a surf-inspired journey into the global sonic twangosphere, inspired by my special guest, the Pseudos, a Haida Gwaii-based surf rock band I interviewed a couple of weeks ago on the beautiful sandy beach of Pachena Bay on the west coast of Vancouver Island. That interview will be coming up at the beginning of hour 2, but right now I'm going to explore some twang with a Caribbean spice profile, beginning right now with something from Toronto ska band King Kong 4 as we hit the waves on the Lovecast.
Squid from the Pseudos, Haida Gwaii. We're a spaghetti surf rock band, and we're happy to be here with Dave O Rama and the Lovecast. Get rammed!
surfing the Kamchatka Peninsula in the far east of Russia with Moscow surf band Hula Hoop rocking out with the surftronic mix of the song Trans Surf Rider. British reggae producer Prince Fatty in the set working with the Mutant HiFi on a wicked 2011 release called Return of Gringo, where we find them ingeniously blending spaghetti western music, surf rock guitar, and ska rhythms in a totally infectious style. Prince Fatty and the Mutant Hi-Fi with Blondes Have More Guns, which I will send out to all the boys in the Pseudos. Toronto-based Jamaican producer and guitarist Shane Forrest, aka Shaky J, recording under the moniker The Shakin Jamaican, with his tribute to the legendary keyboard king of Jamaica's Studio One and the Scatolites, the late Jackie Matu. His music lending itself perfectly to guitar interpretations as demonstrated by the Shakin Jamaican on his Tribute to Jackie album and the classic instrumental Earthquake for all the Lovecasters and Tsunami surfers tuning in to the show today. And we began that twangy Caribbean flavored set with an instrumental from Toronto ska band King Kong 4, a bumpin' beach party motivator from them called To Lose Before You Start, going out to the proud four-time Logger Sports loser I met this past weekend at Yuki Days in Ucluelet, British Columbia. Dave O Rama is dropping a big wet wave of sonic twang on your ears this week, inspired by my upcoming interview with Haida Gwaii-based surf rock band the Pseudos, a fun group of guys I'll be chatting with an hour or two of my program today. But before we get there, I've got another solid mix of surf-inspired sounds loaded up on the decks to wrap up our first hour of the program, beginning with some lazy couch surfing from Toronto band The Suffragettes, right here, right now on the Lovecast.
This is Sticky Buds, and you are tuned into the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
影がキューティーハニー鼻からワンピが似合うのに水玉スカーフなびかせてロックンロールで踊りましょうサイケデリックな入れたち大きな黒目はエキゾチック明日の夕日は嫌いかしらタバコをくゆらすキャンディキャンディ膝あるギターをかき鳴らし魅惑の果実をもぎ取ってゾロ目が出たなら連れてってサイケデリックな入れたち大きな黒目はエキゾチック気取っていつもこういうのさ二人で行こうよ海辺の酒場へ明日の夕日も嫌いかしら
Hello, you beautiful people and all you celestial creatures. This is Shai from the Soul Motivators here, and you're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
From a new album called On the Beach, some penetration from California band The Surf Raiders. And then something for all the fans of German electronic pioneers, Kraftwerk. A great album called The Twang Machine, which is a surf rock instrumental tribute to Kraftwerk by Osaka-based instrumental rock combo The Roots, spelled R-O-U-T-E-S, The Roots, and their stellar version of the Kraftwerk classic Showroom Dummies. Some frenzied psychedelic sounds from Goggle A, Freaking Out at the Mad Dice A Go-Go. And at the top of the set, a selection from the 2022 release Roller Fink by Toronto band The Suffragettes, doing some casual couch surfing in the set. You can find Roller Fink available to stream and download on Bandcamp, and you will soon find the band performing south of the border mid-August for their Great Lakes A Go-Go tour. Dave O Rama mixing up the twang this week on a global sonic schizophonic exploration of surf-inspired rock and roll vibes. It's time to catch a cosmic wave and surf into the next dimension of the Lovecast, where I will be chatting with Haida Gwaii-based surf rock band The Pseudos. I've got Italian band Cosmonauti here to guide us into the sonic swells and through station identification with their twangy contribution to the album That's New Pussycat, a surf tribute to Burt Bacharach. Cosmonauti taking you into hour 2 with The Look of Love.
This is country music superstar Big Fancy.
And the shitty cowboy in the background, baby.
And you're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
Oh.
Welcome to the next dimension of the Lovecast. The Lovecast is produced by your host and schizophonic musical selector, me, Dave O Rama, here every weekend with a mystery mix of global sonic vibes. You can stream past episodes of the program from our fat audio archive at mixcloud.com/Dave O Rama, where you will find close to 600 individual shows available there for your listening pleasure. You can also find approximately 250 of the most recent episodes of the program available to stream or download at thelovecast.podbean.com, where you can also find links to the Lovecast on numerous popular streaming platforms. You can stay connected by giving us some like at our social media page, which is the Lovecast with Dave O Rama on Facebook. Our social media page is all music-related stuff, and links to the latest podcasted episodes of the Lovecast can also be found there. Thanks for joining me here for another sonic excursion on the version. This week featuring a big twangy selection inspired by my guest, Haida Gwaii-based surf rock quartet, the Pseudos. I first saw the Pseudos perform last fall at the Woodstove Festival in Cumberland, BC, and when I found out that the band would be performing this summer at the Pachena Bay Music Festival in Bamfield, British Columbia, I made sure to grab the band members and get them out to the beach for a short interview. So, with the surf in the background crashing onto the sandy shores of Pachena Bay, this is the Lovecast interview with the Pseudos on the sound of your city. Dave O Rama here at the Pachena Bay Festival in Bamfield, British Columbia on the west side of Vancouver Island. And from Haida Gwaii, I have with me surf rock band the Pseudos. Maybe you could introduce yourselves. I know you have many names, or you have more than... You have monikers and then you have your real name. So whatever you would rather use.
I go by Squid these days.
I'm Gumnut. I play bass.
I'm Spider.
I'm Dogman.
And the Pseudos are a surf rock band, and they come from Haida Gwaii. And so the first thing you want to ask them is, are you guys into surfing? And what's the surfing like in Haida Gwaii?
Yeah, for everyone out there that likes surfing, it sucks. There's no waves. Don't come and surf. No, it's really nice. Seasonal, so it happens in the wintertime. And it's just really nice beach breaks for the most part. We like to do it.
You guys surfers too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We like it.
These three laddies, they all surf. I've just gone like 7 times. I write most of the songs, so I'm just a bona fide poser.
And you said on stage, Squid, that you live in the city and these guys live in surfing country. So what does that mean?
Well, I just live in the southern town of Dodging-Geets. We joke that it's a city even though it's like a town of 900 or something. But these guys live on the north end where they have easy access to the beach and that's where the surf is. So it's hard for me to get up there. And sometimes they message like, the swell's good, Jay. Like, you got to come up. And I'm like, it's just not feasible. So yeah, that's how one of my first songs came out. It was a blues song called Not Doing Swell.
And you're a prairie boy. So how did you end up on Haida Gwaii?
Well, I got out of Alberta when I graduated because it was the most bigoted place I've ever seen in my life, and moved to Prince George because it was a bastion of hope. It was punk rock there, punk rock scene. And eventually I moved to Haida Gwaii for a boat, a girl, and a job. And then I stuck around. I love it.
And what do y'all like about living in Haida Gwaii? Dog man?
Haida Gwaii is beautiful. There's a great community. There's a lot of just beautiful territory and not a lot of people, which is nice.
Yeah, I actually live in Powell River now for the past year, but I lived in Haida Gwaii for like 5 years before that, and that's how we all met. And Haida Gwaii, I miss it. It's really beautiful. I love the beaches, especially in the north end, and yeah, I like to go back as much as I can.
So Spider, since you don't live in Haida Gwaii, that's a big gap. Yeah. And the coast is hard enough to navigate. I have friends all over the coast, and if they live in Powell River and I live on Vancouver Island, it's very hard to connect. So how do you guys get together to make your music and record and rehearse and tour?
Yeah, we basically, we had like a solid couple years, I guess, where we kind of like built a foundation and learned like all the songs that Jay wrote for the first album. And then since I moved there, we've just been meeting up for like a tour once a year in the summer. We've been doing 3-week tours and then kind of meeting up at my house, spending a few days just like practicing all day, learning new stuff. And then we did Woodstove as well in November. So like kind of a couple times a year, like getting together and just keeping it up. Yeah. And practicing at home too, just like to the recordings I do a lot. And yeah.
Yeah, this year for tour, Marcus and I, well, Dogman was already down here, but Gumnut and I, we took the 7-hour ferry ride from Haida Gwaii to Prince Rupert, and then we drove straight through the night. We arrived at 5 p.m. and drove through the night, and it was 25 hours later we arrived in Powell River, and we had each slept maybe a couple hours.
Yeah, we were pretty bagged out when we showed up.
Pretty bagged out, yeah.
And then from there, you had to take the ferry over to Vancouver Island, and then you had to drive from the Comox Valley all the way out to the west coast of Bamfield. And the roads are pretty sketchy. I mean, they fixed the road now from Port Alberni, but it was sketchy before this year. So were you pretty exhausted when you got here?
Oh, yeah. I'm completely bagged out still. I think 5 nights in a row I've slept max 4 or 5 hours, so... But I'm hoping it'll catch up eventually here. Maybe if one of these days we'll wake up with no unsas.
We've got a couple days off before our next show, so we'll recharge. Yeah.
So, are you guys pretty fresh touring? And have you only toured British Columbia? And how many tours have you done? Is it getting off of Haida Gwaii? Is this a pretty new thing for you?
This is our 3rd tour, so yeah. 2 years ago, we did a tour of the North, and then last year we did Vancouver Island for our first time. Fell in love with it. Just had such a good time. Like, okay, this is it. Like, every summer we got to come down here and play. And maybe eventually we'll do like a cross Canada tour, or East Coast or something. But there's so much to explore down here, and so many communities we still haven't played. So it's well received.
It seems to be nice to return to a town and play it again the next year sometimes too, because maybe some people didn't catch the show, or people that did had a good time and want to come back. Yeah, we've been having a good time returning to towns that we played previous years. Yeah.
Now, I noticed you guys have a certain look about you. First of all, you wear blue tuxedo jackets and cowboy hats. It's a nice combination. I've noticed that 3 of you wear black hats, and Dogman wears a white hat. But then when Gumnut got off stage, he switched his black hat for a white hat. Is the white hat transferable? Does it work its way around the group, or is Dogman the only good guy in the band?
I actually just got my black hat like 2 days ago. So it was Dogman and I with the white hats. We were the white hats.
It was equal.
But I've sort of switched sides now. So
he's a bad guy now.
Yeah, our band is 3/4 evil and 1/4 just handsome cowboy over there. Man.
He's an angel. Dogman is a
he's
true
keeping
angel.
he's keeping us out of trouble.
On top of that look, you also all have porn stashes. Is that part of the look, or are you guys just all into mustaches?
We do a lot of pornography as well in the off season. Well, I think when we started this band, I already had the mustache and have been pretty committed to it for a while. And then slowly but surely, these guys all jumped on board.
Yeah, on our first tour, these guys showed up at my house all with mustaches, and I didn't get the memo, and I just felt awful for 3 weeks. I was just trying to grow it, and it was just really...
You looked so dumb.
So by the next time we hung out, I had a full on, and now I just keep it. Now I just keep it all year. Yeah.
There's a lot of peer pressure in this band to be uniform.
Yeah.
We have a certain vibe going on.
Usually we show up and Dogman has a bit of a chin tuft going on, and then I'll just pull my razor out and turn it on and threaten to. I try to get his chin, and so he wants to be empowered. So to avoid that, I think eventually he just does it himself, and then we all clap and we're very happy.
Yeah. You have a lot of fun on stage, and a lot of rock bands, I don't see a lot of dancing going on, but you guys got some moves going on, and it's infectious. The audience gets into it too. Is it thought out? Do you have choreography, or is it, because I see some moves that look almost choreographed, but maybe not?
I think that as we've been playing these songs over and over again, it gets into your bones, and we sort of know what parts of what song will do the one move and what parts of what song will do the other move, and that's really all the moves we've got is all both of them. And when Spider's back there cooking on the drums, that surf beat it's impossible not to wiggle to. So
that's true. Well, and I think it started with we learned a couple traditional songs like Miserloo and Wipeout. And then with the suits, because that was the whole thing, we got the suits because, look, the original 60s surf bands are, the biggest dorks. They all, wore matching suits, and they have big dorky smiles like Mama's Boys, and they do the, choreographed swaying. And so it's it'd be kind of fun for, one song. I think it started with Wipeout, and we all, sway our guitar heads back and forth. And so, there's just, a couple songs we like to lock into that, and it's just, a little hearkening to the classics. And then, it just kind of evolved into doing some wiggling.
And speaking of wiggling, just to one thing that I find is wonderful is I like contrast. I like stark contrast. So you're at a festival right now where a lot of people are dressed as ravers in all kinds of bright costumes and no costumes, and it's all colorful and candy colored and all that. But I watched you, and I've seen this before. When you played at Wood Stove, I was the stage manager, and you were standing by the side, and there was this kind of glam electro band on stage, and I was watching Dogman kind of bopping around to it. I'm going, that's pretty cool that the cowboy surf dude is bopping around to this electro, glam music. And then last night I saw you, was it last night? Yeah, for the Polish Ambassador, full-on disco action, beats, and you guys come in fully dressed, hats on and everything, and just work your way into the crowd, all bopping your heads and dancing. There seems to be at least a good sense of humor to the band, for sure. Yeah. Is that part of your sense of humor?
Oh yeah, we're silly boys, and that's the thing is we're not real staunch tough guy cowboys. We're pretty goofy. We can get down. We all like to dance.
You know what else?
Yeah.
It's actually really practical because you can spot your friends when they got cowboy hats on at a dark festival with no cell phone service. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's easier to
see.
find him.
I love to see Dogman because he's so tall too. You can just like spot the cowboy hat at the front
Yeah.
and just see him kind of bobbing up and down.
We use Dogman's
really
cowboy
comforting.
hat as a bit of a beacon, like a muster point.
He's a lighthouse.
I'll meet you guys at Dogman, no matter where he is.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be with a big old smile stretched
Guy
across
can't
his
get
face.
any privacy.
So, surf rock music. Is this something you got into later in life, or have you always been into it? Or what's your musical influences, and why did you land on surf rock?
Well, it started right before the pandemic hit. I learned, I always just love the song Miserloo, and like I listened to a bit of surf rock, not crazy into it, but I learned a couple songs like Miserloo, and then we did a performance with our other band and played 3 songs. We played the theme from The Kids in the Hall and Wipeout and Miserloo, and the crowd went nuts and danced so hard, and I was like, holy shit, there's something here. And then pandemic hit, and I just holed myself up like practicing guitar, learned all these songs that I wanted to learn when I was 16 but couldn't, like started learning like Chuck Berry and Led Zeppelin and all this, and then just kept going with the surf and ended up writing like 10 songs in a month or 2, and kind of shyly came up and was like, what do you guys think, do you want to try and play some surf rock with me?
Yeah.
And then they're like, hell yeah, and it just happened. So it's funny, I mean, I was like, I haven't really ever seen a surf rock band, and there's nothing in the north like that, so I was like, why not, let's do something different.
Jay basically came to one of our band practices for the other band. Same 4 guys, different arrangement, very different style of music. And he basically came to one of our band practices with an entire album's worth of new songs and was like, you guys like this stuff? You want to learn it and start a surf band? And we loved it. Loved it, yeah.
And that other band is Rusty Mold and the Sugar Agates. And there's some music on YouTube, some videos, and we got some music on Bandcamp. That's Spider is a singer-songwriter. It's kind of like psychedelic dream country. And that's also like such a fun project to be a part of, and we're really grilling him to try and get back into it.
Yeah. That sounds really great. And someone told me a story while you guys were packing up your gear after your gig about how they saw you and your son was fronting the band. And what is he, 4 years old or something like that? Like, tell me about that, because they thought it was really amazing.
Yeah, my son Declan is now 5, and we play the Edge of the World Music Festival in Haida Gwaii for the last few years. And he's just like a very musical kid, you know, like I get him in the jam room and get him on the mic and he plays drums and all this stuff. And I don't know how it happened. If I just invited him on stage one time and then he got up and took the mic, and he's got like pretty good ear for music, started singing. And yeah, last year was like an iconic performance. He had a cowboy hat, he put it over his face, and he was doing all these crazy dance moves and like singing Miserlou with us. Like, I don't know, it's kind of unreal. And he stole the show completely. And then it's just like, oh, that's all anyone could talk about. I'd love to bring him on tour, but he's got to grow up a little bit. So you do some classics when it comes to surf rock. You do some classics for Lovers Only and Wipeout. I think you do. Did you do Tequila? We did Tequila.
Yeah. You do a lot of the really top, most familiar. But you also write your own surf rock instrumentals. What inspires those? Even though they have no lyrics to them, there's got to be an inspiration. There's a lot of different styles of music that kind of weave into surf rock, and some of them have a Latin style to them. And I think you did a Greek song as well. But it seems to me almost the fun part of writing surf rock songs is coming up with that melody and then coming up with a really cool name for the song. So do you have a lot of fun naming your songs?
For sure. I mean, yeah, like I really like playing in different scales and experimenting. So yeah, there's the Greek Byzantine scale. There's like this Latin scale for Ola Antonio. I learned a Japanese scale and did bonsai hokusai. And really, it's like I just write the songs a lot like with a looper, write some get a chord progression, and then just start jamming until something sounds good. And then we usually just give it a random name, or like out of just making dumb jokes, something comes of it. Yeah, there's not a ton of intention around it, and then also I'm really inspired by spaghetti western movies. Like I grew up really liking the old Clint, like the Sergio Leone films, and yeah, with Clint Eastwood and all that. And so yeah, I really like the desert landscapes, and yeah, let that inspire me.
What else goes into it as far as different sounds?
I think that if you take all of our songs, you can sort of group them into little categories. And I don't know, Jay came up to us and was like, we were gonna have a second album at some point, I need some help, you guys. Like, you gotta start writing some songs too. I can't carry the whole load myself. So Finn and I took a stab at it as well, and for me, I really like the sneaky ones, like Pink Panther is one of my favorite songs. We didn't play it today, but it was usually part of our set, and Secret Agent Man is another good one, and so I really locked in the sort of sneakier vibes, and that's how I came up with Secret Briefcase. I did the same thing as Jay was talking about, just on my own, started a little chord progression, and then just tried to noodle around until I found something sneaky enough.
But I would say like Jay has like quite a background in with like heavier music and punk and stuff, so I feel like we kind of bring a little like element of that as well in some of the songs, or at least like certain sections of a song will kind of go into like a heavier part, and also like try to create little like trippy sections or something where we can kind of add like cool effects and solos and stuff. Yeah,
I feel drawn to the kind of spaghetti style as well too, and mixing that with surf. Like I imagine just like surf cowboys riding donkeys down the lost shores of Mexico or something, and just whatever emerges from that fantasy.
And you even do a reggae song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do a reggae song. I don't know how that happened.
I'm the Dog Man from the Pseudos. You're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
I wrote that 4 years ago. I don't know how it did, but because I've never really written reggae songs, but I don't know. I also, just like kind of, I feel that one has kind of some psychedelic, real trippy vibes, and I love psychedelic music. Like, just wanted to write some stuff with like good vibey sections, and like I love it when a band's like high test, dancey, fast music, and then all of a sudden there's a good breakdown with some effects, and you're just like, oh, just like groove into it. And so I think that kind of came out that way too.
Almost like a blend between surf and dub.
Yeah, totally. I love the dub stuff. Yeah.
It seems like no matter what kind of crowd it is, they can always get behind surf rock music as well. I mean, it's pretty common for people to start mosh pits and stuff at our shows, and then it's also, we've had shows where people are just sitting down and enjoying it, and we've had shows where maybe people are sitting down and not enjoying it, but yeah, it seems like a lot of different styles of crowds can always get down to some surf rock. So.
Well, you had a surfer today at your performance at Pachena Bay. Like, some dude got up on a surfboard and the audience carried him around the whole bowl of front of the stage. Has that ever happened before?
That's actually a traditional crowd surf, so that's the real way to do it, and it has happened once before. We've seen it one other time.
On Haida Gwaii.
On Haida Gwaii.
Our buddy Ravi got up on a surfboard and did it. It was super. And that was more like planned. So today was pretty exciting, just having a random buddy show up with a board and do it. It was really cool.
You also made a plea for squid, and there was a good surprise there. You got some squid. What was that all about?
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. Just these guys were squid jigging the other day when we were in Ucluelet. And then I just went to this place that was selling dragon bowls. They only had 3 options: tofu, veggie, and chicken. And I said, "Do you got any squid here?" And it's kind of just became a bit of a joke. I've been asking around for squid, so I decided to ask the whole crowd, "Does anybody got any squid?" And then the one other like cowboy boy in the audience is like, "I got squid," and sure enough, he showed up with this like smoked squid from Japan. And he's like, I gave him a CD after, and we chatted. And actually, he bought a place in Masset on Haida Gwaii, which is cool.
Oh, no way!
Real nice dude. And I got 2 bags of smoked squid, and I can't wait to rip into that. Probably right after this interview, I'm going to chock my mouth right full of it.
And what about your audiences in Haida Gwaii? You got a good audience there? You got a devoted audience?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. Like, we usually when we play there, we'll like pack the house and have like Haida Gwaii is extremely supportive. If you go to open mics, any shows there are just amazing. Like, people are just so grateful to have music. So anyone that tours there, the open mics, people sharing brand new songs, like the crowds are just so into it and supportive. And so we're like incredibly grateful to come from a place where we have so much support and so many pals love it. And we're really lucky.
You got one record out. What's it called?
Surf Bozos, 30 Years of Surf Rock. And then we're going to be working on a second one here soon. We've got almost enough songs to do one.
Okay, well, explain the title of your first album.
Okay, well, we were visiting my friends, the Grid Pickers, which is an amazing folk duo. And they have 5 kids, and they live out off the grid. And when we were out there hanging out, kids wanted to dress up in our suits. And we're like, oh, yeah, okay, sure, that's hilarious. So they dressed up in our suits, and then it just hit me. I was like, oh, my God, this is the album cover. We dress them in the suits, we give them our instruments, and then we take a picture of them with my old Instax, like Polaroid-style camera, in the log cabin, and then we'll dress up and take the same photo. And then it was like, that's it, 30 years of surf rock. And then we were spray painting their pig house. They had a pig pen, and Finn spray painted Surf Bozos on it. So we took that, Surf Bozos, 30 years of surf rock. And it's amazing how many people come up to us and like, this is you guys? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. We've had the exact same suits for 30 years and the same instruments. And my own mom was like, this is you? I don't remember this photo. I'm like, Mom. Yeah, I was like, Mom, come on. It's pretty good. It's a good joke.
And you're pressing vinyl too. You got CDs, you're pressing vinyl. The album's available on Bandcamp, I guess. Give us all your coordinates, how people get your music, where they can find you, and all that.
Yeah, so we sold out, and so we got our music on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. If people want to buy it, that's nice. It's on Bandcamp. We've got an Instagram page, the Pseudos Spaghetti Surf. And then we got the vinyls, CDs, and then Marcus is an amazing artist, and we just got T-shirts made with his really cool designs on them with this like cactus with a cowboy hat and a goofy smile.
The sound of your city. CIUT 89.5 FM.
This is Spider from the Pseudos Surf Rock, and you're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
And there you have it, the inspiration for today's musical showcase of global sonic twang. Haida Gwaii-based Canadian surf rock combo, the Pseudos, chatting with me, Dave O Rama, on the sandy shores of Pachena Bay, traditional Huu-ay-aht Nation territory on the west coast of Vancouver Island. This beautiful sandy beach with the waves crashing in the background was the perfect place to interview the band when I caught up with the boys following their super fun performance at the Pachena Bay Music Festival. A fantastically fun event produced every July by Mount Elia and Cumberland Village Works. It was a super fine weekend indeed, so big love to everyone who contributed to the overall production and positive vibe of the event. Throughout the interview, you heard selections from the debut album by the Pseudos, which is called Surf Bozos, 30 Years of Surf Rock, which you can locate, stream, and purchase on the Pseudos Bandcamp page. From the album, I featured the tracks Surfin' for Jewels, Fistfula, Hola Antonio, Blissin', and Gremmy's Big Day Out. Big love going out to the Pseudos for the fun interview and the inspiration for today's big, twangy Lovecast. It's a global sonic surf rock extravaganza this week on the Lovecast, and Dave O Rama has pulled together an infectious mix of twangy delights to turn your private world into a hot and sexy beach bacchanal. The day I was casting off to Pachena Bay, I ran into some musician friends on the ferry, and they engaged me in a conversation about the classic Link Ray guitar instrumental, Rumble, a song that inspired several of our greatest rock guitarists, an impressive list of string benders who often cite the song as a big inspiration for their love of rock guitar. Victoria-based surf rock trio The Cavalleros have a song called The Fifth Dimension, which reminds me so much of Link Ray's Rumble that I wanted to share it with you on today's show. So, going out to Johnny, here's The Cavalleros to take us all deep into the fifth dimension.
been ragdolled.
We're the Pseudos. You're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
I'm Slim Sandy, and on behalf of our band, the Hillbilly Boppers, I just want to let you know you're listening to the Lovecast with Dave O Rama.
There's a big twang happening this week on the Lovecast, and the Isotopes are helping you get lucky with their 2021 instrumental version of that Daft Punk dance hit, which I will send out to my friend Sean. Also from LA, the Meteoroids with the opening song from their self-titled 2024 long player, a piping hot track called Gimme Shimmy. From the 2022 release called Exercising Our Demons, Michigan-based Skullface rockers, the Concussions, bringing some fertilizer to the graveyard in the form of guano. Nashville surf rock luchadors Los Straitjackets in the set as well. Los Straitjackets are known for their prolific output, Mexican wrestler masks, and their fantastic collaborations with musicians like Eddie Clearwater, Big Sandy, Cesar Rojas, Deke Dickerson, Little Willie G, and Nick Lowe. From a 2013 Halloween compilation called Mondo Zombie Boogaloo, the fabulous Los Straitjackets letting you know it's monster surfing time, which was originally a single released in 1964 by the Deadly Ones. We also heard from Saskatoon surf rock band The Garys, fronted by the three sisters Erica, Julie, and Lenore Mayer. They have a number of releases available, and I played the title track from the album Get Thee to the Nunnery. Some trippy prairie surf vibes in there from the Garys. And at the top of that big twangy mix, the Cavalleros from Victoria, BC, going back to the release Atomic, the album, an instrumental from them called The Fifth Dimension, going out to Johnny, because it reminded me so much of the legendary Link Ray classic Rumble. And this concludes my big twangy Lovecast guitar jamboree, which was inspired by my guests on the program today, Haida Gwaii surf rock band The Pseudos, who I interviewed on the beach at Pachena Bay, British Columbia, Vancouver Island, traditional territory of the Huu-ay-aht First Nation. It was the perfect place to interview the band with the added sound of the waves crashing onto the beach, creating the perfect ambience for the interview. Big thanks to the Pseudos for joining me on the show today and inspiring the sound of this episode of the Lovecast. I hope you enjoyed the program today, and thank you, as always, for taking the time to tune in. I'm going to go out with a song that has gained a new audience because it was recently featured in a dance sequence on the new Tim Burton Addams Family spin-off series, Wednesday. The song was first recorded by rockabilly band Ronnie Cook and the Gay Lads way back in 1962. My favorite band of all time, The Cramps, covered the song almost 2 decades later in 1981 on their awesome album Psychedelic Jungle, which was the version used in the TV series Wednesday. But today, I'm going to sign off with a slightly more recent version of the song from 2013, covered by another fave band of mine, Southern Culture on the Skids, a band from North Carolina that has been on the scene for the better part of 40 years. So until we meet up here again next weekend, this is Dave O Rama wishing you peace, love, and consciousness. Aloha!
Oh, when the sun goes down and the moon comes up,